Hello, everybody. Good evening. Dr. Rao here. As a part of this satsang, a gathering of people for truth exploration, I have been really seeing and also people who approach, uh, they kind of ask me a simple question. You talk about living in the present moment and being in the present and doing everything and all that. It's all well and good. But I have this personality that I developed. Either I was encouraged to do that, I was given this with my parents and my teachers, my culture, whatever it is. And I end up thinking I am this culture evoked ego or personality, or we call it persona. So you're not the stuff you have, you are not the roles that you play, you are not the titles that you have. They are all yours, but you are not that. You are owning them, right? Mistaking them. So I see a lot of my friends who are doctors, now they have retired from their profession. They want to be identified still as doctor, but you are a human being before the doctor, right? So your role is doctor. Your role is to play the healer and help people and all that. But identifying our roles, our titles, our experiences, all that as though they are us, that's a mistake, right? So, but if you are really identified with your inner presence, right here and now, what are you without all those attributes to you? That is real you, right? So, not your feelings, not your thoughts, not your theories, not your perspectives, not your concepts. They all you all have them. You can use them for the life. You can enhance or you can relate. You can do a lot of things. But when you don't identify with the temporary thing that come and go, then you are much better off, right? So many people ask me about that, how to, you don't have to get rid of it. Just see the fact that you did not born with it. And they're kind of acquired attributes or titles or roles and all that, right? Once you have that clarity, it's much better. So you have more energy because you don't have this ego inflation or deflation, or really identifying with the temporary things as permanent. None of that. You have more clarity about who you are, and that always is there. See, everybody has this sense of I am, right? That sense of intuitive sense of feeling I am, that doesn't really change. Okay. um, that will be there as a boy, as a man, as an old man, whatever, right? um, this was explored by the philosophers at a much deeper level, but a lot of people, um, they think if I improve my personality or improve my activities or characters and all that, I'll be. But there's this inner sense of I am. That is your authentic, real self, real essence of you. And a lot of people who kind of anchored themselves with that inner sense of being, and they are much better off because they don't have these mental fluctuations, emotional fluctuations, turmoil. That is not there because you don't identify with that. So it cannot be growing by itself, right? Think about it. Um, that's a very peaceful condition because you don't have all these thoughts taking you all over, right? And you don't have all this hormonal induced emotional turmoil that is not there. See, even the modern sense of stress also is about the reactions that we have because our persona or our ego or personality that is the one which reacts quite much. But when you don't identify with that and you look at it as though something you have an attribute, whole lot of difference. Okay, so um, ancient times they were living in that anchor, in the sense of I am, that is their anchor. That is where they landed and stayed there. So in the process, they were really able to uh, enjoy inner peace, quietness, solitude, and also stillness of the mind. And because their mind is still superficially still, then you go to the depth of your inner self, and then that comes out in life, right? So look at the people who are um, dealing with people who are really rude, very uncaring, and saying all sorts of things, but they don't react to them. You could say, oh, you don't have shame, you don't have respect for yourself, and all that. But that is the persona which has all that, right? So, getting this not by your so called intellect or so called intelligence, but by intuitive feeling. Because you always feel that I am sense, right? That doesn't go anywhere. Once you are stationed in that, anchored in that, and then approach life, try it and see how it feels. It's a whole lot of different things. Then you will see all human beings as human beings, but not as what their titles, what their roles, what they have, what how much of money they have, or whatever, right? So I kind of looked at it in a deeper sense, and then once I discovered it, the mind is first of all lightened, whatever impressions, whatever they say, and then living in the present moment all the time has become natural rather than really fighting against my own persona. The persona is quiet because it knows its place and it is there. Because I don't identify with that, I am in that inner energy all the time. And that is the blissfulness I talk about. That is the bliss actually we all have. But we kind of trample it with our chattering mind. And that is where understanding how we develop our ego, our persona, our personality, versus why we cannot be in our inner presence, which is really us. So I wonder it makes uh, sense for anybody, or you can feel for yourself. Suppose you are doing certain job, and you identify with the job and the skill you have, the experience you have, the importance you have. Everything comes from the job, and suppose something happens and the companies are changing very rapidly, and then they hire somebody else and remove you, then you feel lost. You feel like really uh, feel like somebody died or something, and then you have to go and find something else. Or the way technology changing, you may have to learn new skills to find a job that can support your livelihood, that can help you with that. Okay, so think about that. This is something ancient talked about, and then they didn't have therapists, they didn't have psychiatrists, but they were very empathetic, and they were very harmonious with other human beings because they looked at the being level. We are all human beings, one tribe, one energy, one awareness that is always there. There's only one consciousness that pervades all of us, right? Once we are stationed in that, it becomes so much easier to accept people as they are, and also really not have the all these divisions. So people really respond to other people uh, because they are not separate from you, that unity, right? So that is also there. Consider that. See how many people feel in their mind whatever is going on, it is them. But the thoughts change, right? From morning till evening, there are so many innumerable thoughts. So those are not you. You are having thoughts. Who is that you? That is the inner essence. Okay. Almost everybody misses that on the social media as I go around the rooms and all that. Everybody is really relating from their persona, not from their presence of here and now, what they feel, inner presence, inner essence, actually, that is the intelligence that we have as human beings to really understand ourselves in this moment and stay here. Okay, and also we have the ability for the memory and the imagination, but we kind of do not really know how to use them. So instead of living in the moment, appreciating what you have, and then seeing what it is, we kind of have cloudy presence because we cloud it with past memories or future worries. Think about it. That's why staying in that ever truthful presence, moment to moment, is very hard. Not because you have something against it, but you are allowing your intelligence, which can go into the past, which go into the future, come and really take away the clarity of the present moment. Suppose you have a danger and you want to see something like for example, like a aeroplane pilot is having some kind of problem where the plane is going down and he knows that another minute it will go and crash. So you'll have to do so many things in that, but you have enormous time lag. He feels okay, everything he can do in the present moment. Usually people are motivated when they have some danger like that. But with the understanding this thought process, what this presence and all that, anchoring in the presence, keeping the mind as an object, like you are studying your thoughts as though they are objects for you. Okay, and then you will slow them down, and then you'll go beyond the thought into the inner, serene, silent stillness. Okay, and that is where you want to be anchored in, not on the changing persona all the time. You know, people spend a lot of time about personality development, about understanding persons, branding yourself certain way. This is the way I am. This is what I am, and all that. All that creates more mental noise. Mental clarity is not there. Okay, so this is the great contribution of the ancients, I think, because we have become very chattery now, and our atmosphere, information age, and so many things coming at us, this persona is kind of nurtured and developed, and then suffer the consequences of the being a persona. That means you feel you are separate from other people. You don't feel that harmony, that bonding, that we are all one human tribe. Think about it. Don't accept just because I said so, but that's my understanding. That's how I came to see it. So a lot of people have to think about for themselves and validate for themselves. you know I was talking to some other girl who is really very much bothered about how other people think about her. So if you look at it, the other people look at your persona, personality, or your whatever you think you are, in terms of thoughts and labels and roles and whatever, right? So she is very concerned about image, what would think about me. But then, if you really say we are all the same, you and me in that energy, Why do you have to care for the opinions or conceptions of other people? But it's not does not mean you cannot be moral ethical. Actually, you will be highest moral ethical because you know other person is also you in that energy. How can you really harm them? How can you really blame them or be angry with them? Actually, highest ethical moral order happens when you are know when you feel that we are all one human tribe. But there's country, sovereign governments, there is a race, there is state, there is a district, there is a particular suburb, there is a educated person, uneducated person, there is a technological person, non-technological person, there's a philosopher, non-philosopher, like that. We have so many roles, so many things that we play, we identify with them. Is that really us? You suppose you are a philosopher, you learned philosophy, but before learning philosophy, who are you? See, that's a way to think about it. I remember one interview I read, Deepak Chopra. So he was a physician. I think a lot of people know him. So he's a physician of endocrinology, and he was staying in Massachusetts, Boston, right? And he became more interested in um, what's going on with the healing, with the mind body. Um, medicines of East China, India, so many places, right? So he was very interested in that. So, but he has the he was already feeling like I'm an endocrinologist, I am a physician, I'm so and so, I'm living in America, like that, right? Then he met Krishnamurti, J. Krishnamurti. He's a educator, and he won't call himself philosopher. It limits him. He's somebody he questions very deeply. You know, and he always brings our attention to this presence, to this intelligence that we all have, right? And how that intelligence is clouded by our confusion, our ignorance, or not knowing what is the truth. And so, for those people who think that they are their roles, or they are kind of, he asks a very fundamental question. So Deepak Chopra goes to him and says, "I'm having confusion about who I am." Then Krishnamurti asked him, "Are you a human being first or a physician first?" Simple, right? Everybody knows that I'm a human being. But we identify with the role of being a doctor, in case Deepak Chopra. And actually, this question by Krishnamurti jolted Deepak Chopra, jolted from the limitedness that he's creating by calling himself, I'm a doctor. You have read to be physician, you are qualified, you learn technology, you learn to heal people, that's all okay. But you are a human being who is working the role of a physician. If you look at the fact, that is really the fact. But we create a persona that identifies with the role that we are playing in the society, and then thinks that is that. Okay. It doesn't realize what is behind that, because all the thoughts, all the concepts, everything happening to the inner entity. So once you are stationed there, once you make that anchor, then you don't have to do meditation, because meditation is for the persona, for the egoic mind, for the personality mind. Then you could be in awareness, in the presence, without the chatter of the mind. That is what I always talk about, my experience of it. But doesn't mean just because I experience, that means the others have to. No, no, others don't have to accept. They have to investigate for themselves and go into that and validate that inner essence for themselves. See? So in this app and other apps, I see a lot of people come up and talk about authentic self and all that. But if you look closely, they are talking at the mind level, And people who are at the mind level also feel like, oh, this really makes sense. I have a guest here. Let's see who it is. Harry Marcus. Okay. Let's see what Harry has to say. Hello, Harry.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Okay. So, what do you think about what I was saying?
Yeah, I didn't quite catch up what you were saying because I was on the creative system, but I know you were saying something, and that's the reason I connected with you so you can explain to me better.
Yeah. No, I was saying we usually
Yeah,
identify with the roles we play, with the titles we have, with the opinions other people have about us, and all that. But that is only our thought made our ego built personality and all that, right? But in the interior, we know, we feel that presence, who we are.
yeah,
I am. That's what I'm saying. Usually, our education, our culture, everything helps us to be separate from that. You see,
yeah,
once we
yeah,
identify,
you're right.
yeah, that's why I'm telling the story where Krishnamurti and Deepak Chopra were having a conversation. Krishnamurti is a
Yeah,
worldwide known educator and all that. He doesn't want to call himself a teacher or philosopher. His business is make us think. So this man
yeah, you're
goes
right.
and says him, I'm confused who I am. Then he asks him, are you a human being first or a doctor first? See, you are a human being and then became a doctor by studying. So your role is a doctor, but not you. You know. So that clarity to come to Deepak Chopra was very important in his opening up and developing. So what I'm seeing is many people are caught in their own thought-made ego or personality, and identify with it. No, having that no problem, doing all the roles and all that. But identify with the roles, then we forget about real inner authentic self. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
So then we are all human beings. So in that
Yeah,
energy, we are all one. That way we are
yeah,
harmonious. We don't have to separate everybody like a black or white or male or female and all. They're there, but we
yeah,
are essentially one energy. Look at how we feel when we are like that with other people, like you and me. We are all part of one energy. And that energy has different bodies, different minds. That's all okay. But then harmony is at the real core as human beings.
yeah, yeah, right.
Is it clear now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we innately, intuitively, we know that. We all know that. Everybody has that intelligence, but because we think only at that level of thought and all that, we kind of identify with our not real things, and then we separate ourselves.
No, no, yeah. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So that's
You're
why
right.
all the patients that walk in front of me, any number of people, because I see different national people, because America, a lot of people, different people are there, right? There are Americans, there are Africans, there are Indians, there are, Chinese. So many people come through our, especially when I lived in New York and Chicago, I used to see all sorts of people. But for me, the common thing is that human being. You see, that is what I identify. That's why I have no problem seeing any patient or anybody without any discrimination.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
you're
I'm
right.
talking about. I'm questioning it. I want people to go and explore it for themselves by just
Yeah,
keeping quiet and see what is that I can really feel about myself. It's not
yeah,
intellectual argument. It's kind of how you feel. That's all.
yeah,
Because we all
yeah,
suffer the same way, we all enjoy the same way, and all that. So once I know, why do I have to say your name may be just for identification, but you are not the name, you are a human being behind all that.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking
You're
about.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our family,
Hmm. So what happens when you identify your inner essence and you anchor in that, you don't have this mind that is making all this network of thoughts. That's why you are peaceful. And also you don't have disharmony with other people because you accept them. They are all part of you, right? So it's not something that you want to really intellectualize, but you just have to feel and intuitively feel that energy and then stay in
Yeah,
that.
I'm back, man.
Yeah, this is why I talk about being in the presence after you get up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
right now, I'm currently on the trader system.
yeah.
You know, I'm a Bitcoin trader.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I got a lot of investors coming in, and I'm currently trading
Mhm.
while talking to you.
Yeah. So it's a kind of
Yeah.
all human beings are the same. Then we don't even have wars if everybody can accept that, you know. But all the religions preach that, but then people don't follow that, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
See, all
Yeah.
the human beings come with the same suffering, same kind of inner feeling, same kind of insecurities, fears, same thing. You know, they all go through the same thing. It's just because you have money doesn't mean your pain is better than other people. No,
Yeah.
see
No.
that's why we made a mess of our lives too, lots of times. You know, so we think it may be happening far corner of the world, but then that can touch us. Like you know, these people, they canceled this USDA, right, which is providing a lot of help to a lot of Africans. Last night I was seeing pregnant ladies in Ghana. There is a
Yeah.
story on them. You know, these women they used to get this medications for malaria kit and all that. You know, the USDA used to supply that. Now the USDA funding is taken away from the US government. The far corner of the Africa, they don't have these kids. So one kid is only 5 years so far, but he already suffered malaria 3 times. So it is terrible because they are losing everything there. They don't even have ambu bag, which is like a mask you place on the face and give oxygen. That is also not there. So kid could not get the mask, and then as they are taking him to the hospital, he died on the hospital. They showed all of that with that pregnant lady, what happened to the baby, and all of that. So the money that was sent to the USDA and a lot of soft power. See that?
Hello, are you there?
Yeah, no, there's a phone call. I can answer later. So it's a question of we did that is the USDA funding because we cared for the human beings because those human beings may have diseases and they will if you help them there they won't come and spread and we won't get disease. But now that's a possibility. Like in China, COVID started and it came to us like that. Whatever happens in Africa, some of the diseases that we were able to prevent before, and now they will come here. So it's kind of connected world in so many ways. See, the connected world, and so really living with that connectedness is what I'm talking about. Not as a concept, not as a theory, but living that connectedness in our daily life.
I think we talk some other time because then I told you I'm currently on trading. So you just kindly, are you on WhatsApp?
WhatsApp, yeah, I am, but I have a private group there.
Okay, you send me your WhatsApp number so I'll text today so we can have a conversation. We can share ideas together. Like I said, I'm a Bitcoin manager
Mhm.
and we have a good strategy and we do in a lot. So we share ideas together. So just kindly
Where
send
are
me
you
your WhatsApp
from,
number.
Marcus? Where are you from?
Uh,
Where are you from? Where are you stationed?
I'm from Italy, but I'm currently in California.
California. Okay.
Like, I grew up in California.
Mhm. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Are you here regularly on the Noom Vibe?
No, no, I'm always busy with
Okay.
trading.
Okay.
I'm always, yeah, I'm always on the trade system. That's the reason I requested for
Okay.
um, your WhatsApp number.
All right.
So,
Thanks for coming up, and then I'm glad you understood what I'm talking about. So,
yeah, okay.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you send it to me now.
So, living that presence, living that awareness, living that connectedness, feeling that harmony, and not having this separative thinking, separative ego, separative personality. That's what I'm talking about. Not about the personality development. People give a lot of value. Oh, I have to achieve this, I have to do that. And after achieving all of that, where are they? What are they? They don't have mental peace. They have a lot of anxiety and fear about other people. And all these are bred because we think we are separate individual personality. Think about it. Are you really the persona, or are you the inner presence which is harmonious, which is connected with everybody else? Okay, that's the thing I wanted you all to answer. Anybody else has any questions or doubts or concepts, anything that you want to discuss with me? Come on, and I will talk to you. Otherwise, I'm already here 32 minutes. So I just said what I need to say, but it is up to you. If you want to ask me anything, come up. Otherwise, I will close the room in a short while. It's very easy to participate in discussions where your mind is really responding to the talk, to the questions, to whatever, and then you want to stay in that level of mind. It's very comfortable, but that is the persona I'm talking about. That is identified with our roles, with our titles, with our accumulations, with our particulates, right? Attributes, but we are all beyond all that is that energy that we are, right? And that energy is the life energy that gives life to everybody, and that is the same life in everybody. So in that life force, remember in Star Wars, feel the force, Luke. That's what they say, and that is the force that gives us all this life and everything. And when you really know that you are that force from which everything is emanating, actually, this is the big deal in ancient wisdom, is realizing that we are that force, and we're staying in that force and controlling our mind and also the body, really not being subject to the turmoils the mind and the heart and the emotions and the hormones create. That is good. But usually people listen to other people's thoughts, and then because they are only thinking level, they will think, oh, I am that, I can agree, I can gain a lot and all this. But there will be a time when you recognize that's not so. You are that awareness in which all the thoughts are happening. Okay, that is when you are in the presence of awareness, moment to moment, awareness. When you are in that, you don't need to do meditation because you have a calm mind already. Whereas if you are not in that anchor of your inner self, and you are in the fluctuating thoughts and feelings and turmoils of the mind, then you need to calm it down. You want to do physical meditation and all that. But that will only take you so far. But you will not have this ever peaceful, quiet, serene, still mind, and you really enjoy the serenity of your inner being. It's not a concept. It is a fact, So, but you have to find out by yourself by turning inward and keeping your mind calm and feeling that inner essence. I am that feeling that I'm talking about. Okay. Think about that. And if you want to converse with me, you can always DM me, or you can come to my other classes when I do on the so many channels. But otherwise, you can yeah, I can attend my classes. And thank you for coming here. And I will see you later. Bye bye.